Hello! We are working on Warped, and as usual, my face is too close to the camera, so I will try and hold this out as far as my short little arms can reach. Warped is something that I pulled out of my backlog. I was so gonna release it, and it was so awesome, and then I thought it was garbage and put it away for another 3 years, apparently. So let me show you what I have. I am muting the old main vocals. Literally haven't worked on anything since I shelved this, so maybe I'll sing some of the vocals on top so you can get a feel of it that way. This nice little synth thing. That little beat there. Let me roll this up. Oops. There, so we've got some piano stuff there. We've got some beats. There's the backup vocals coming in. Some of the vocals were off. The pitch was a little off, but I also don't like my delivery of it. I don't know. I'm gonna probably re-record those vocals, but I might keep the backing vocal. It would be really interesting because it would mean that I would end up with today's 2024 main vocals, but then the background harmonies would be like 2021 Sophia. I hope I can keep them. It's a nice day. I don't particularly want to record backing vocals. I wasn't going to sing today actually because my body's been fighting something and I have a performance on Saturday and I was going to give my voice a rest. Like I didn't even practice today. I think I need to record the stuff. I gotta do it. Just gotta do it. I have this spoken verse thing. And then whispers. The idea is to sound as sinister as possible because the whole thing's about technology too, right? This is put through a whole bunch of different filters. There are the inserts on it. I don't even really know how to show you this because it's been so long, but I dragged out some stuff from over here and just kept fiddling with things until I decided that I liked it. This whole thing's disorganized because I didn't set it up like my normal projects, of course. Maybe I'll spend today fixing it up and getting it workflow ready.
Haven't you experienced trauma? Oh, you have? Well, mine hurt more than yours. I know because, I felt it, even though you felt yours too.
It's like the stupidest crap I could come up with the stupidest voice I could come up with, but that's literally how it feels scrolling through social media these days, so that's what we've got. And then I've got the whispers, of course. Another cool thing I wanted to show you is in the chorus. So then I have a saxophone come in and some strings.
Don't you hate them? Why not? They're evil.
Wait, more of the spoken.
It's them versus us. They perpetuate violence. My opinion's the only right opinion. No, we shouldn't say anything that makes other people feel hurt. Being hurt makes you strong? What kind of bull is that?
I was really salty. Of course I can't hear anything. It's all on mute still. I'm really intelligent sometimes. Careful, you might cut yourself. Oh no, what a shame. There's the alto sax. I love how it's like kind of gritty. And then we'll have some pit strings coming in right here. But I think I might be. I've changed the colors so instrument groups make a little bit more sense. Vocals are green. This just makes sense to my brain. Don't ask me why. I also have the arranger tracks on there, which makes everything so much easier to see. Take it over here. It's just a whirly piano. I think this is a labs. Very ostinato. I think I quantized it because they're very on top of each beat. But even if they're not, I'm not too worried about it because the beat itself is very strict. That one for sure I quantized or will quantize if I don't do this one. Let me just open this up so you can see which whirly it is. Spitfire Audio, whirly chorus, one of that there at Labs. Little whirly thing here. There's a couple of other sounds I could have picked. I like using different keyboard sounds because I write on a lot of keys, right? But there's so many different types of keys. Why would I use the same one for everything? That's that. Now let's get into this synth. Like over here. And this kind of just runs through the whole thing. Gives this really eerie, unsettled sound. Also kind of reminiscent of something. We don't know what. Let's see what sound that is. Because like I'm exploring this with you guys. I don't remember what I did. That's a piano pad from Labs. Picked radio, which I thought was apropos for the topic, but I also just like the sound. I'm sure there's actually a reason why they called it radio, because they are very particular with what they name their samples at Spitfire. It's probably an actual radio sound or influenced by that. Okay, this beat is not Spitfire. It's not a lab. It's not anything like that. This is something from within Studio One. I think that's the name of it, Gritty 909. But I'm not really sure how I found it, and I wouldn't know how to find it again. Maybe. We'll see. We'll see. It's kind of embarrassing. I think I played around with a little bit of different envelopes and stuff until like ADSR and just seeing what I like. I might play around with it some more, but I do like what I have so far. And this is finger drumming quantized to the graph, but then I duplicated it and made another one, so it's almost like there's an echo. B1, B2. They're offset. I don't know how well you can see that, but it's just ever so slightly offset. Yeah, so they're offset, but then I've got this bum 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 thing that I added back in. I think I actually picked two different drum sounds for those. It's just the beat itself that is off. Let's check. So that was beat 1 that we just saw with the Gritty 909. And then, oh no, it's Gritty 909. I cannot figure out what I did differently between those two. It doesn't look like they're any different. I think it must be because when I was finger drumming, I did a different velocity for each one. Action of your finger is gonna bring out a different pressure. And then they're offset, so maybe that's why they sound a little different. Take a look at this snare. Really subtle. I wouldn't even call it a snare per se. Oh, it's the same one and I did something to it. See, this is the problem when I pull out old things. I need to bounce a bunch of these to audio and then maybe I'll come back and things will make more sense, hopefully. I just bounced the synth to an audio track and it reminds me of the score in Dunkirk. I understand why it's called radio now. It's so beautiful. I don't know how to explain it. Like, it's beautiful visually too. I have transformed the keys, the synth, and all of the beat stuff into audio tracks successfully. I think I'm gonna leave the vocals for tomorrow because I don't have it in me today. I set up the vocal track there, 2024, so that I'll know the main. I might have to redo the lower background vocals because it's a bit questionable, but I might be able to fix it with a little bit of Melodyne. Again, my thoughts on that in another video, but I don't hate Melodyne. If you've seen my stuff, you probably already know that. It's really not as much of a crutch as people think it is. If you want to sound natural, you can't use it like a crutch, if that makes sense. If you don't care about it sounding natural, then you can use it as a crutch. Then it's really obvious that you used it. You'd probably make a whole video on that, actually. The whisper and the spoken stuff, I have to trim them down. You can't really see them right now. And then the strings, I do need to work on a little bit just to humanize them a little more. The violin and the cello are pretty good, but I switched which strings I was using here. I was initially using another BBC Labs, but I'm using Albion 1 now because I can, because I have it. We will see. I just have a strings patch there, but I don't love how they come in mainly at the end down here. But it's not very clean on the run up. Like the new strings is so much better with Albion 1.1. It just sounds like a swell though. See, that sounds fine, but the beginning there, like I want those to be clean. I'm gonna have to figure out how to maybe divide the articulations. I don't really know how to use Albion 1 yet, so I guess this will be a learning experience. And I think I kind of want more strings than the rest of it somewhere, but I'm not sure because the other problem is I've heard it this way for so long that it's hard to get myself out of it. I know I definitely need more in the bass. It's always the bass. But we'll get the vocals down first and then fix maybe a couple of the other things in here and then go from there. I'm going to record vocals today.
For Warped, which I already have vocals for, but didn't really, you don't know already, Warped was a project that I had shelved for like 2 years, so people already paid for it, at least.
Is it just me that hates tracking vocals? I feel like other people That's my clock. I feel like this is an industry thing. There's so much pressure and the comping and vocally, like when I'm producing, I usually am not at my best vocally because, you know, I'm working on producing, not necessarily as much practicing. Priorities have to shift sometimes. So I'm just trying not to overthink and then like making sure all the sound, I guess that's for any live instruments, but like making sure everything's soundproofed or like the sound is, there's no background noise. That's what I'm trying to say. Oh, okay. I've been meaning to do this for a few weeks and I just need to bite the bullet. I need to do it.
I haven't practiced it for a while though, so that's good. And it's not a crazy difficult song vocally, which is good. Three people have a lot going on vocally, but WARPED doesn't.
This is just a PSA that vocal clumping is a nightmare for anyone who struggles with being indecisive. I'm either going to come out this other end having a complete glow up with my character, or this song isn't going to get done. I suppose it also doesn't help when that's what my comp looks like right now, which, you know, maybe wasn't the smartest thing to do, but this song has so many tiny little nuances within the vocal delivery. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know. It's gonna sound a bit choppy. Yeah, see, I need to volume adjust that. It's not too bad, actually. Maybe I'm being dramatic. Maybe I'm being dramatic. It's been known to happen before. Really quick update on the status of everything. I'm done vocals, I think, mostly. I think I have to do some gain automation to make it a little bit more, you know, the main vocal. Automation in general is like really detailed and it's gonna take a lot of time. So I'm not doing that right now because I'm gonna get caught in it. I'm still production phase, kind of. But this is the first time that I've also added anything to this since I found it again. So I'm in the middle of adding another cool synth thing. I don't know, this is a very synth focused song. But I have spent in the last couple days 6 hours total between vocals and also yesterday I had this really short string part. I don't know how to use articulations on strings. So this is also why it took me an extra long time, because I was learning how to do articulations with my strings, and I'm losing the light now. They're a lot more present. They sound live as I can get them. That also took a lot of manual adjusting, and I wanted to go from staccato to long, lush legato things. You'll see. I'll show you. You can hear what the vocals kind of sound like. I did auto-tune them. Yes, I auto-tune most of my vocals because I like crunchy things sometimes, and I do a lot of vocal stacks. I'm gonna show you the strings now. They're that little yellow thing. So this is the synth I'm looking at now. It's another lab. Synth pads number 4. Real creative. I've taken the attack down. I don't like long attacks usually for most things, especially when it's already like really drifty. Variation I moved up. I haven't really worked on the rest of the DSR. I think it'll add a little bit of extra filling out the sound, but we'll see. I am back again to show you again what I have not filmed myself doing again. I have two definitely new ones, maybe 3. I can't remember what the last thing I filmed was, as usual. I added the bass. Oh, I fixed up the strings, but I think I might have already shown that. I added like a high synth sparkly thing. Really descriptive here. I'm working on trying to add, it was supposed to be a rhythmic type of synth, but that didn't happen because I just keep hearing things and adding things that aren't what I was supposed to add in the first place, but that I know I need to add, but I just keep adding other things. This is probably the 4th time I've tried to do some sort of like pulsating rhythmic thing, and it hasn't happened. I'm not really sure if it's going to. I really do need to be done this within the next week or so because, well, it's day after Canada Day right now, so July 2nd for all you Americans. And I have till the end of the summer to finish this EP, like actually, because I've already paid my engineer and I don't want to make him wait that long because that's not nice. I can't just be dragging this out for months and months and months and months and months and months and months. I'm a little hyper today. This is probably the anxiety talking. The bass is pretty self-explanatory. It's a Labs bass guitar. Is it Opia? OPIA. That's the lab version. I think it's called sub bass. I'll show it to you in a second. And then the high synth is another MIDI sound that I found. This current synth that I'm working on right now is driving me insane because one thing you need to understand for this EP. This is also me learning. This is some really hardcore production stuff in the sense that I literally had to learn how to use a professional, entry-level professional, a professional level string MIDI set, right? My Albion one, I already talked about that. And now I am working with creating my own synth sounds. So sort of. I didn't just like feed in the frequency. Okay, there was already bottom line frequency. Now I added a delay, a flanger. I don't know how to say any of this stuff because I just read things and see them on the screen. I don't necessarily see people talking about it. That's not true because I actually did see a video of someone talking about this, but I can't remember how to pronounce it, so. I'm now working with an arpeggiator, which seems to be something I think that's going to be a common theme on this album, running through everything, which is not surprising given the 80s. But I really don't know how to use the arpeggiator, and I'm sorry if that shows. Not really a professional, like I am, but you know. So if you're gonna leave me a nasty comment, I already know. Believe me, whatever you say can't be worse than what I'm saying to myself. I'm just gonna solo this bass so you can hear what it sounds like. It's literally just a bass. It gets a little bit more interesting here. It's kind of boring, but it fills in areas. Okay, hold on. I'm giving things away. Getting ahead of myself here. This one, no. This one, I lied. There, this one is the high synth I was talking about. Ignore this, please. I just need it open. That's for later. This is the soft one I was talking about. So it is helpful. Synth pad number 4 out of the lab synth pads. That's so helpful. Which are free, by the way. We love labs here. Labs are like on almost every single one of my songs. Get yourself some labs. Also, the user interface is really intuitive. Contact, not so much. Do I have any inserts? No, I do not. That's just the pure sound. Oh my gosh. Isn't it pretty? I think I probably did use the mod wheel. Maybe not, actually. No, I don't think I did use the mod wheel on this. I'm just traumatized from my strings experience where I was mod wheeling that and using the drawing tool for 3 hours trying to get it to work. Things that set me back. That's one of them. I don't know what's going on with this. I don't know if I'm going to keep it. I've got an arpeggiator. This is within Studio One, and I did play with these a little bit. Do I actually know what each of these are for? Not necessarily. I know what the knobs are for, but I don't really know what envelopes are for. I should probably look this up, but I just listen to the sound usually, and this is what I mean when I say that I'm not a professional. I had the reverb on, then I had to add a delay, then I turned the reverb off because there was too much going on. I've also come to realize that I usually like really fast attacks on everything. That's the synth, if it would focus. I have a delay on first, then the thing I shall not mention. Oh yeah, I added an EQ because I had to take out some of the low end because it was just, you'll see. It might be too electronic, but like, do you see this? Yeah, I had to take out some of the low end, okay? With that bass in there, I'm not leaving that to my engineer. That's like actually mean. I have not liked this yet. I don't hate it, but I don't love it. Sounds better over here, I'm pretty sure. Without these hidden meanings, underlying connotations, expectations, all the things that I wish you knew. I need to mod this. Yeah, see, I like it, I just need to mod it there. I don't know if I like the high one sticking out. That higher note, it definitely needs to do this. There's the arpeggiator. I think it cuts through really nice though. So this is why I'm torn. And then it needs the room there for the sax, but if I can find a way to kind of strip it down so it's like just like one note like it was at the beginning. By the way, if you're using Studio One, that's where you find your arpeggiator, not in the inserts. Just, you know, this is a recent discovery of mine. Okay, I have panned. No, I have done the mod wheel on this synth thing. I feel like it was controlling distortion. I don't really know how to explain that other than it didn't really change the volume. It just changed the tone. Like it made it more gritty when I turned it up. So it's got a very, very low level of modulation there. It basically looks like that for the entirety of this. That's the synth by itself. But I did some volume automation and I think it's done. I'm just gonna play a little bit. Sort of helped it sit better in the mix. Like it's not supposed to be as whooshy, I guess, as the other synth, but it just helped it not be so abrupt and like cut out for certain words to highlight the certain words. Honestly, automation in general is one of my favorite things, but it's just so time consuming. Usually it's just like so worth it.
About these hidden meanings, underlying connotations, expectations, all the things I wish you knew.
So you just
But
see it let the cello through there.
I
love that. Right there. I ended up doubling this. I love that. I don't really mind it so much there. I guess I could have put some at the end, but I kind of don't mind it cutting out. The whole point of this is to be techie, right? Literally, that's the purpose of the song. If it cuts off a little bit more abruptly, I'm not too worried about it because the strings fade out and everything else fades out. More in here in the verses, like the verses needed something. And I feel like this is the glue because I have these other like industrial type sounds that I want to put in, but they just didn't sit right with the acoustic stuff and like the really like flowy synth. So I feel like this could be a good bridge between the synth and those industrial sounds. This is completely separate. With the strings, I want to overlay a cello part that sounds more realistic, like a single cello. I don't remember where I heard this. It might be Thomas Bergson. It might be somebody else. Maybe it's a Zimmer thing. The other producers I've heard of will record one live instrument over Midi, and that way the Midi is what's filling it out, but the one that your ear goes to is the live one. So that's a really good way to cut costs and make it sound like it's live. We'll see if it works. I don't know if I want to use the same cello because it's gonna blend in too much with this tone quality as this cello. Also, I realized that my range is not necessarily violin in this. Don't judge me, please. Throw names on there so I can tell things apart, and that's it. I think I'm done with this synth. Here, it's mostly for the sake of it not sounding bare underneath the strings, so I'm not so worried about the swell of whatever. Actually, what I ended up doing was an accident. I didn't end up putting the individual cello on there because I couldn't find one that I liked. Again, maybe this is just me not knowing how to use my libraries, but I did end up doubling the strings. Don't do that, they say. You'll get competing frequencies when you double the same track. When I doubled it, it was an accident, and then I realized that it was only sensing the staccato part, which I wanted punchier anyway. It's a single patch with individual articulations, right? So it's still a single patch. So I couldn't really, maybe I just haven't figured out how to do this yet, but it was only sensing those ones and it just sounded way better. So I left it. I don't actually think I need the individual cello because I don't really want that to stick out per se. Wall of sound, wall of sound, wall of sound at the end with like vocals on top, if that makes sense.
So into dig your grave, what makes you think you'll fix
I don't know if you can hear that difference, but it's just ba 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 ba. It's like when the conductors are like that, right? Just a tiny bit more. Also, I've grouped these together. See, that one's dying, that one's still going. Slightly going. If it presents a problem for my mixing engineer, which it might, I don't think it will. If he hates it, I might have to rethink this a little. I will pick this up again tomorrow. What's on my list still? Some industrial sounds, that stupid rhythmic synth. I don't know if it's happening. Some cleanup stuff with the vocals, fade-ins for the ad-lib parts, and then automating the other main vocals. I think after that I'll be ready to start prepping it for sending, which is nuts. After I change everything to audio from the Midi voice. I should do that right now to save CPU, but I'm not. Goodbye. Well, I did a whole bunch yesterday, but it doesn't seem like a lot. I added the industrial sound. I did a lot of volume automation on the synth and the industrial sound. Handing automation on the last synth that I put in. Basically what I did were these two dark pink. You can't see anything. I've already bounced them to audio. You have to have them in audio to be able to do that. I don't know if you'll be able to hear it on the camera microphone. That stuff's really sensitive, and I always forget just how sensitive automation can be. Move your drawing tool the wrong way and you get like minus 20 dB. So it took some trial and error. It's like that whirring sound.
Meanings, underlying connotations, expectations, all the things I wish you knew.
Do you want to show off this little thing I did here? I'm really proud of it. It's not that much, but
We're just spinning, boy, you're winning. Second that you postpone living, battles you can't afford to lose.
I don't know if it's gonna show up, but you'll be able to hear it in the song. It was already kind of like this little delayed thing, but I wanted the delay to do this. So I just did that with the panning. It's not supposed to be like super exact. I also had the industrial sound come in at the end, just so that we will have a little bit of this. And it just leads us out. And ignore all that because I just copy pasted the automation. I only needed half of it. I am going to try for the 4th time to make this repeated synth sound. I realized that maybe I should be using the repeater instead of the arpeggiator. I forgot that that existed. So I watched a video on how to use that, and I'm kind of scared now because it's one of those things where the controls are really simple but do a lot. Then I'm going to be trying to choose my synth sound. Synthesizer again. It's on a default setting up here. Did not do anything with the spread. I was going to, but I kind of liked the sound. The only things I changed, I put down the release a little bit over here. The reverb's still on. I might take that off. I'm not sure yet. Also kind of liked that one. Do you hear that? Versus it might cut through the mix a little bit better if I do that, but then it might sound too close to the other one. We started on this one, which I kind of still like. That one's too annoying. That one's too close to the bass guitar. I kind of like this one, but I feel like I did that on the last one I used. Ooh, that's cool. These other ones I've never heard before, so you're watching me discover new things. Oh, I kind of like that. Oh, I kind of like that too. Harmonia? Might like these harmonica thing. I don't know. Sphere. Ooh, no, that's too much. This is what I usually do when I'm trying to pick between sounds. I'll just like literally just turn on my...
But you twist and turn out.
I don't know how I feel about that. Too much. That I don't hate. I don't hate that. Hold on.
God, I think I might be warm. Knife under my pillow.
Yeah, we're gonna go with that.
With every word.
I don't know if I like it now though. Well, we'll find out, won't we? Let's add the repeater. Don't ask me how to find it here because the video I watched had it under note effects, but I can't find that. There's too many things that I have going on here right now. Oh, there is a way to find it in here. Go over here and then you just go, so I'm in ostinato synth. Go down to note effects, repeater. There, yay! That's the other way to get it, which sometimes I think is easier than dragging and dropping because like you know you're in the right channel instead of just whoops, I put it on the wrong channel. So glad I watched that video. Maybe I'll link it if I can find it. It reminded me of the order. These effects, the arpeggiator and the repeater and all the other ones like that in this effects thing, all of those are between the keyboard and synthesizer, which means that the way the input goes, keyboard, synthesizer, I don't know, it's weird doing it horizontally. Keyboard, repeater, synthesizer. Oh, there's, let's see what this is. Oh God. I'm a freaking idiot. I'm literally over here clicking the synthesizer right after I told everyone this is between the keyboard and the synthesizer. I have to actually go play my keyboard. So this is a lot. That's too much. That is too fast. But like, look at what I have it on. This needs to, no, we're not doing that. Let's put it back to where I had it the first time. Oh, that's a lot. Huh, that's definitely 80s. Oh yeah, not with the pitch though. I have to fix the pitch thing. Okay, I messed around with it some more, added some reverb, fairly large. I stopped recording in the middle of my last take because SD card was full because I have a really small one in there right now. So I'm gonna go back. I don't actually remember where I left off, but we're gonna try. So far since the end of the recording yesterday, I haven't added anything, but yesterday I'm pretty sure was like my last, yesterday I'm pretty sure was my last tracking day. All the tracks are there, it's just a matter of mostly automation. I'm hearing where I want volume automation, like everywhere, just everywhere. There's so much automation in this thing. 5 of the main instrument or like part. Hopefully it doesn't make things hard for my engineer, but I think it's gonna make things easier for him. Actually, that's the goal, always the goal. So what I added yesterday was this ostinato synth thing. It's this like really repetitive little thing. You can see my repeater. I actually ended up moving it to an 8-step pattern because the 16 one was just too much and it wasn't giving me like the responsiveness that I really wanted.
Wanna take what you say as true without these hidden meanings, underlying connotations, expectations.
It's so slight. Basically what it does is every time you hit one note, repeats it in that pattern. So what I've done is I've increased the velocity, right? There's the velocity scale here, so I've just increased the velocity going up, so it's like this little thing. It's a little bit annoying, honestly, right now, but it adds so much. So the annoying part is that it just needs to do more of this. Again, like this whole thing is at all the waves, right? It just kind of runs all the way through, basically. I took some off on some unexpected beats, and this one was a little different because I wanted it ostinato, but I also removed some on keywords. I can't talk about looking at my screen right now. I removed and like made space for certain words that I wanted to highlight, so it's not necessarily gonna just come in on a certain part of the line. I've taken it out like according to the vocals. I'm gonna go ahead and automate just a little bit. I think at the beginning it's fine for the chorus. You'll get this a lot like if you're producing where you have to do something different in the chorus versus the verse. That sounds really obvious, but I mean if you have the same instrument playing for the whole duration of the song, you either need to put it in a separate track maybe and then like play with the volume or play with like different things there, or automate it, or cut it, and then sometimes you can adjust that particular segment, the dB in there. Today I worked a little bit on the panning. I don't really think that's going to show over camera at all, but I can take you through and like point out a little bit of where I placed everything. I don't know if it's going to be like that in the final mix because I send unpanned stems, good grief, to my mix engineer, because depending on the effects and the way he's EQing it or something, he might want to move it because that's all about space, right? So you have to create space for different things and panning's part of that. So yeah, I wanted him to have that freedom, but it will be in my reference mix for him. It helps me hear more clearly what instruments will actually sound like when they're not like just stacked on top of each other. So I've had to kind of go, you know, bring some things up and some things down. I also cleaned up some of my ad-lib parts, which I will show you right now. I did this whisper take thing. It's a little bit cringe, especially when you're just listening to it by itself, but in the mix, it sits really well. And then I also did this ad-lib talking type thing. It's supposed to sound ridiculous. You'll see what I mean. It's supposed to sound absolutely nuts, and if you find yourself relating to any of this, that's the point, right? It's like sounding ridiculous. Why is she talking? Spoken conversations. And then it gets progressively more ridiculous as it goes throughout the song. So this is the whisper. I'm just gonna solo it.
You might cut yourself.
It's nuts. Like, I don't know if you can hear that.
It's so in to dig your grave.
That one sounds insane. Let me do that again.
It's so in to dig your grave.
And then this one over here.
But I think I might be warped.
These ones were actually part of the set that I recorded years ago when I recorded the harmonies. The only new one is the main vocal, actually. But all the other ones are 2021 Sophia, I want to say. 2020 Sophia. So it's like very much in keeping with the mentality of this EP. I was really proud of when I did this at the time. I didn't want it to overwhelm the actual lyrics. So this might be your only chance to actually know what I'm saying here. There is an effect on it. No idea what this is, okay?
Haven't you experienced trauma? Oh, you have? Well, mine hurt more than yours. I know because, like, I felt it. Even though you felt yours too. Don't you hate them? Why not? They're evil. They're not like us. It's them versus us. They perpetuate violence. My opinion's the only right opinion. No, we shouldn't say anything that makes other people feel hurt. Being hurt makes you strong? What kind of bull is that?
Like, it's whack, okay? But I had fun with it. I had to pull up the volume of these individually because otherwise you wouldn't hear it in here because there's so many instruments Wanted it to give that effect of like miscommunication. It's like a vintage phone call, right? But in this section, I didn't necessarily want the words to come through. It's filler, right? But I still didn't want the filler to be meaningless. Okay, so just a really quick review of my Midi Voxy sound. It kind of reminds me of a guitar, actually. It didn't make sense when I first put it in, but like I really knew I wanted to do it, and I'm so glad I finally got it in. I'm stealing a little bit from Antonov's like ticky thing that he does. Like he always does a little tick 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 just to keep the momentum going. You can hear it's like his signature. You can hear it in 1975 stuff. You hear it in Taylor stuff. I think he's done it in some of the Lord stuff too. As soon as you hear that, it's like, oh, Antonov. Not that I'm saying this is exactly Antonov, because it's like it's usually a rhythmic sort of thing. Does that not just make the beat like 10 times better? Like it just fills in all the weird gaps that the beat had at first. And I love that. The beat is weird. It's a good bridge between the beat and the synth parts, and then the industrial synth is a good bridge between the industrial sounds and the synth part. All these kind of in-between type of sounds really blended to make this whole soundscape. Please ignore my messy desk if you can see it. I'm crouching a little right now because the camera's very precariously balanced on a music stand. My speakers are right here. They're not actually by my computer because they need to be by my keyboard. That's not always the best. But whenever I'm trying to figure out what to do next, I will stand right here, just like this, and listen to everything, but then I will also go around and listen to it. See, right away I can hear that the industrial sounds a little loud. See, that doesn't sound so bad because I'm over here by the speaker. And also the speakers. But you twist and turn and pull. I think I know why it was loud though. I was over by the left speaker, and I'm pretty sure it's panned left. Oh, it's actually centered because I automated the panning. I forgot about that. So it's a good thing I did this because I just looked at it and I didn't automate the panning, actually. Sometimes I find it hard to keep track of what I've automated because sometimes I don't want to have the automation channels open because then it takes up like 3 tracks worth of room. There's one other thing. Yeah, I want to automate that too. Hello everyone, we are here at the final check. I think I'm ready to send these stems off to be mixed now, which is like terrifying because it's, you know, after that, it's hands off for me, basically, except for my ears. I actually ended up keeping all the panning on. So much automation on this. The panning's really important in this one, and I was told to do this by my mix engineer. And there we are. And here we are going into the Dropbox folder. Look at that. That was the most stressful 5 minutes of my life because my mix engineer couldn't see my files. Like he just texted me and he was like, I don't see it. And I'm like, oh, I don't know why. I did it the same way I normally do. They're all uploaded to Dropbox successfully. I'm under capacity. Like I unshared, reshared, sent him the link. I don't know which one worked. I find that really funny, and I think that maybe I might have jinxed it by calling it warped. Isn't that ironic, given the topic of the song? I just got my first mix back from Max. I listened to it like 10 times on my crappy phone speakers last night at like 2 a.m. I haven't heard it for real. I'm gonna start it now.
Take what you say as true without these hidden meanings, underlying connotations, expectations, all the things I wish you knew, but you twist. Oops, I think I cut myself. Oh no, it's so in to dig your grave, but while I'm here, I'll fix society. Never mind my anxiety from all these virtuals.
Take my stuff out of the oven before it burns.